Hello everyone, welcome on back to Pallegney. Alright, so I have to admit, I really should have sold the soybeans last month. It has gone down quite a bit. It's definitely probably 10 grand less than it was last month, in total at least. Which is kind of unfortunate. That's a decent amount of money. I was really thinking it would be fine, but well, I was wrong. So, I think this will be 2 trailer loads to bring out. Let's see, where is it? Train station. By decent margin, too. So, yeah, we definitely probably want to bring it to the train. Actually, I probably can't tag it, because it would tag at the end of the tracks. I've been up here before, but it's been a minute, so... Alright, that seems decent enough. Not too hard to get there. Yeah, 40,000 liters, so it'll be 2 trips in total to bring everything there. Then we'll have to do the soybean harvest that we have going on as well. Although all the animals and everything are being taken care of, obviously I've put a ton of hay into the cows, water buffalo pen. More than likely, most of that will end up being fed to them. At this point, that's kind of what I'm seeing. This is probably going to end up being worth more having them do it, or having them eat it and then produce milk over selling it directly even. It's just something I've been trying to keep on top of, obviously making sure they're fed. I think they're 80,000 liters, so they're doing all right now. I don't think we have a ton left though. And once they're out, they're out. There's nothing more to go there. And I did want to mention, obviously, basically since the beginning, I've had products that show in the menu that I can't find or access. I do now know where they are. Somebody had commented on episode 2, I think it was. It was one of the earlier ones, just recently. And basically, you have to complete this quest. I forget what it's called. It's like Vosages or Quest of the Vosages, something like that. And basically what you end up having to do is there's 7 collectibles, 6 or 7 collectibles. And then you have to solve the quest. I mean, you find all the collectibles, then there's like this, I want to say it's like a goat statue. That's kind of in the forest, not far from here. I watched a video on it. It should be in this forest. But I think that's after you get the collectibles. Then after that, if you go to the mill, you can actually open doors, which obviously I have not done the quest, so I'm not going to be able to show you where everything is. But I believe it's behind these 2 big doors. There's a bunch of pallets of seeds, everything. Because once you do everything, that back door opens. And I would assume you can actually use these doors then. Because as of, well, as for me, I can't. So obviously, I could go through and find them all, but that would be very time consuming because I do not know where they're all at. I just kind of, I learned about that and I was alright, I'm kind of curious where it's located. So I just looked up a YouTube video on it and found it. Yeah, somewhere in there is the statue. I guess in a certain point, if you're watching this, I've solved some of the quest for you. You just gotta find the collectibles, which are probably the hardest part. Alright, well, we are on our way to dump this in, and then we'll obviously get the train rented, which as far as I know, is still visually glitched. I think there's been a couple patches since I've used a train, though, so maybe the visual part of it has been fixed. You never really know, though, so obviously the top priority is the train itself stopping, working, over the visual part of it. Well, really, I should probably go and get it rented, because we will be sitting here in a little while. Oh, it's right here. I wasn't able to show what the bug used to be. It used to still show it was super far away, but it would stop. Let me in. There we go. Alright, we shouldn't need a second one, I wouldn't think. 67,500 liters, quite a bit. Then, of course, we'll go and do the last harvest. It's the last harvest. We'll do that. And we'll get that sold right away. We'll see how much time we got left. Well, I know my biggest concern going into this video is I wasn't sure if we'd have enough to really make this video long enough. Because I don't want to take too much from the finale either. Because that's the big important video. Obviously, you're selling everything. I don't want to sell a bunch in this video. I think the header and stuff we can probably go ahead and sell. A lot of the equipment has already been sold outside of, what, tractors? Oh, really just one tractor. Trailers haven't been sold. Otherwise, I think everything has been. Oh, the water tanker, milk tanker. Kind of nice seeing the farm from this view. See all the little bits and pieces in the grass field we missed. Quite a few of them. Even though we're selling basically all of the grain today, outside of 232,000, nice. Also have what, sorghum and some mustard is like the only grain that we still have left at this point. Corn tortillas are not yet. I have to keep an eye on it. Yeah, mustard and sorghum should be the only ones left. And I don't think we'll end up using much more sorghum for chicken food at this point. And mustard, I don't think we'll put any more into the production. There's 5,000 or 5,500 liters in there currently, and obviously I kind of want that to be ran out. I don't want to add too much in there. It's a little over 5,000 liters. So still a decent ways to go in there. I just don't want to obviously add more, then we end up having a bunch in there still at the end. You're just leaving money on the table at that point. That's not something I like to do. Obviously, now is a dang good time to kind of put your final guesses in for in total. I'm gonna say we're gonna make at least probably another $1 million. So I'm gonna say like 2.5. But I would not be surprised if we see 3. I know that's a long way from here. Obviously, we're over 1.5 million away at this point from there. Obviously, it kind of depends on some of the productions, but we have all the animals have to be sold outside of this small chicken barn animals, because we started with those. But all of this chicken barn here, the dairy productions, multiple fields, obviously. There's a lot of things that still is here to be sold. And obviously the animals, especially cows and the water buffalo, can be worth quite a bit just selling by themselves. So I would not be totally surprised if we're sitting close to 3. Obviously this says we have about $900,000 supposedly to sell. Obviously, that's at max price. But that also is going to figure in, prefab walls and stuff that we can't sell. How much I can do about that. Obviously, we still have some more money to be made in here, but we probably will make about that from selling everything. And then you still figure in land. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I would not be surprised if we're pushing that. Especially when you figure in animals, which, see this 15 here at $1,500 a piece. So obviously there's a little bit of a cut in there because we'll just have them or automatically sell, I guess, or we'll sell them right from the trigger instead of renting some sort of way to transport the animals. All right, so we can start focusing on this here. Oh, that also would include hay, which is 96,000 liters. We might have some to sell then. Because obviously, I get that cheese and like buffalo mozzarella, I think the max price is October, but it's not. I don't think it's that far back yet. It's still pretty good in January, February. It doesn't fluctuate a ton. We'd probably be best off. That's a couple $1,000s, but obviously to sell the bulk load of it would probably be best in January to do. But if we have a couple extra months, because I think we got to wait for like sunflower oil or something. We got a couple more months, then I'm gonna try to feed the animals and keep that going. Because it would definitely be better financially than selling the hay. It wouldn't take much. Wouldn't take much at all, really. Yeah, the header and header trailer we can probably go ahead and sell today. I don't foresee any usage of that now. I know I had considered looking at contracts today, but I don't think that would push it far enough where it's like, yeah, it's kind of worth to do. If that wasn't wheat, maybe. If that wasn't green beans, maybe, but I don't think anything would push it far enough where it's like, yeah, it's worth doing it. Obviously, these that are down here, the harvesting ones are expensive. Obviously, they would be great. But, 66,000 liters have to be delivered, and that is a really large field. That is a large field. Almost 6 hectares or acres. Should take about an hour. That's just, that's too much. That's too much. And this one must deliver 230,000 liters. I'm good. I can think of a lot of things I'd rather do. So, anyways, I think I'll just go ahead and start up a time lapse for this. We can get this field done nice and quick. So I'll check to everyone once the time lapse is done.
I can go anywhere, walk the desert in the sun, lost and I don't care. I'm feeling lighter, lighter, at the finish line. You can't cheat me now. Flying like a satellite, I'm so far away, can't get me back.
Alright, so we are just about done here with the, well, last harvest of Pallegney. Can't believe it's already here, but the last one. So obviously, next week, there will be a new series in replacement of Pallegney. I have not, obviously, put any map solid to be there yet. I don't think the video I asked about possible suggestions is out yet, so I want to wait for that to be out before I put anything down for permanent, at least. I have a pretty good idea of which, like, 2 maps I really like. Some of it is also deciding some of the maps might be best for like a 1-year challenge. So it's like, all right, what's gonna be best for the here and now, and then also the future. And obviously there's eventually the Edgewater 2.0 or whatever it's called. I don't think it has a name yet. Eventually that'll come out, and I'll definitely want to play that. So as Edgewater, Saskatchewan was by far, I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was definitely one of my favorite maps from 2022. Like, if you take out any sort of survival challenge maps, because obviously those are kind of, you make of it as you will. I mean, you build out the map how you want, basically. It's tied for number 1, probably with Alma. The problem is I played so many really good maps in 22. I don't think I played any map I didn't like. I don't know if it's really possible. Obviously there's so many great maps that it's tough to find one that you don't necessarily gel with quite right. And they all kind of had their things that made them unique. So I know Court Farm was really good. I did enjoy that a lot. Hopefully this flips around. Yeah, nice. That was one of my favorites as well. I mean, obviously Alma, Edgewater. I played Zalanka. That was a good one. I don't know if it was as good as some of the modded maps, but it was still a good map. Granted, some of what made it so good was obviously the unique new crops and stuff, so I'm trying to get that straightened out so I can actually grab it. There we go. Of course, the header and header trailer can be sold. Those were bought during the series. The Combine cannot. That was actually, we started with it. We never upgraded it, which honestly, in basically any other series I would have probably. But considering the size of the fields and everything, a bigger header was all that we really needed. All that really made sense. You know, I was always able to make it around the field at least once before I had to unload, so couldn't really justify it. Especially because obviously we're still a little bit earlier times for 25, so there's not nearly as many mods out, especially for harvesters. There's a lot more now. I know there's a lot of times I was like, oh, alright, do I either buy a field or do I buy a new harvester? And every time I was like, oh, I'll just get another field. Eventually, I would definitely say we kind of hit a point, obviously. I think where we're at now is kind of like the maximum amount of fields we could have did. Especially with them all going on at the same time. It's $3.5 grand for the header trailer. Repair and repaint. $22,500 for the header. Not too bad. Not too bad. Made just under 26 grand. Obviously, there's the maintenance costs and stuff in there, so it ends up being like 22-ish. Yeah, we're so at 1.3 million. Obviously, we still got the little bit of soybeans there to sell. I'll have to check where the highest price is. I would assume it's still the train station or Castle Nod. Same difference, but yeah, obviously next time I'll make sure I have all the fields that we kind of started out with. I'll actually know what those fields were, because I know over there we have 2 fields combined, and I'm not sure which one I started with and which one I didn't. I kind of obviously want to verify that ahead of time before I go and sell the wrong field. I'm not sure what the cost difference is. 52.5, 59.5. I mean, obviously, if I sold the wrong field, it's a couple of grand difference. It's not a huge amount, at least, but if I can help it, I kind of want to be accurate. What's that purple crop? Oh, it's alfalfa. I was like, it ain't no way it's grapes. Right, 28,000 liters from that harvest. Not too bad. I suppose soybeans will not show in there right now. I'm assuming the train station. It has gone down even more. It was, what, 3,400? But yeah, it is still the train station. Yeah, I definitely, I made a mistake waiting a month. It would have been best in June. It would have been best. But hindsight 2020, you know. If we could all go back in time, you know. There's a lot of things that would be different, but can't think about it too much. So obviously, in between this video and the next, I'll make sure and we'll get a bunch of the pallet goods and stuff loaded up, because we should be November. Will probably be when we pick it up again. That'll be when I believe eggs are towards its highest price. But we will be selling those then. Hopefully we have food and everything by still, obviously, for especially the 700 chickens. That's kind of the most important one. I'll obviously monitor everything to make sure they are good. I think the chickens might be something we'll sell in November, depending on how much food they have. Because really, I think in the 4 months extra that we could potentially get out of eggs, we're probably sitting about the same for sorghum. It wouldn't take much sorghum to do, though, either. But it's going to be a far worse price as well, because we wouldn't be selling it at the price it's going to be at in November. It'll be the price in February, March, which will be far worse than November is. Now, I'll double check. Obviously, I'll double check, just to be certain. But far as I know, it is by far highest. Yeah, it's by far highest in November. If we wait until February, March, it's $2,500. It's almost $2,000 less. That's a lot. So probably be best to sell sorghum as is and get, about 80,000 for it. I think that's probably what we're thinking. Probably be what's best. Because what we basically, the last thing we'll be selling will be sunflower oil and fields. Yeah, so all this is like December, January. Shouldn't have to worry about the slurry, I don't think. We'll see. That might be the thing that's going to hold back the cows or anything from keeping them for super long. Yeah, this is 86 kilometers, but it's not. I'll start bringing this probably back to the farm then, and then we should be here by then, I would assume. All right, so once again, we'll just load this up. Should be what, $90,000 it said. So we'll be, you know, over 1.4 easily. Then we're only what, 1.1 from my guess. So I'd said 2.5. I would not be surprised if we get closer to 3. But obviously, put your guesses down below. This is the one to guess on, so. I'll show the stock checker menu in a little bit, so you can try to figure it out off of that too. Got all the field prices, buildings, animals, which are going to be a lot more than what you think. So, that's why I'm saying 2.5 to 3. I wouldn't think you'd be over 3. Alright, so we should be kicked out of here shortly. There we go. 94 grand basically. Not too bad. Yeah, obviously this is the stock check. The long planks, prefab walls, seeds will not be sold. Oh, lime would not be sold. And straw will not be sold, so wood beams wouldn't be sold either. Those are things that are kind of, you have to complete the whole quest thing to be able to get that. So, oh, and cement bricks, which that's 47 grand. We'll see if my guess is right, but I did not realize we had 50 grand in something we really couldn't do much at all with. But obviously, still have how many months of eggs to be produced. A bunch more, obviously, milk products and stuff, because I will be keeping that going as much as I can. It is possible if we're in November and we have just about a full slurry tank for the cows, I might sell that again. Kind of depends. I think they're going to eat the rest of the hay that we have for them, too. Corn GTOs are December, January. Okay. I had to check on that. That's like the one outlier I wasn't 100% on what time it would be sold. But anyways, that is about everything for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.